Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome again to this section of the Oregon Voters Digest. By George, we got a show today. We got a lot of work to do, folks. There's a lot of activities, a lot of things are happening here, not only in the city of Portland, worldwide, and this, that, and the other, but we're focusing in Portland, Oregon. And by George, I'm really excited about the show. I'm really excited about this particular guest right now, because one of the things we have been lacking, if you will, in Portland is true leadership. And I'm really excited about this piece. And it just so happens, I've been knowing this guy for quite some time. But besides that, we've got some similarities, if you will. But you know, whenever I start thinking about leadership here in this country, in this world for that matter, in most cases they've got military background. Because we all come from that boot camp. We all come from the same source, if you will. And so I'm proud to see that in fact we've got a new leadership person who's sitting in the chair of the NAACP. I'm not saying no to any of its predecessors of this, that, and the other, but I do have some idea of what his definition of leadership is all about. And I'm talking about JamesPosey. Some of you might are very familiar with JamesPosey. He's an activist in his own rights. He gets out there, he gets involved. He's a family man. He's a businessman. I mean, he's gotten out there, and I've interviewed him for a couple of times, right? Before he's sitting in that seat of the NAACP. But because I know him real well enough, if you will, he's excited about the idea of coming in and reporting and educating and informing the citizens of Portland, Oregon, as well as Oregon, about what's happening here within our city in the Portland metropolitan area. He not only represents black folks, but he also represents folks across the board. He's the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and it's a well-known organization. In fact, I happen to be a member. I was a lifetime member, and in all due respect, we're dotting the I's again, but I do really plan to serve in the NAACP and be a part of the NAACP and be a lifetime member of the NAACP. So I encourage any and all of you to join the NAACP. In fact, if you're interested, you can basically go down on the internet, Google it. A lot of those folks that don't have the Google, you can just give the local NAACP a call here in Portland, Oregon, and trust me. And if you got any problem getting your membership, you ask to speak to the president of the NAACP, and I'm talking about JamesPosey. He will pick up that phone and he'll get your membership. So I'm really excited. So periodically he will be coming on here on the Oregon Voters Digest and give you an overview of what's going on in the local chapter of the NAACP here in Portland, Oregon. Appreciate that. So hey, James, thanks very, very much for being a part, and thanks very much for doing what you've done. I've not had the same opportunities with other entities that were sitting in your chair. But that's okay. But we're going on now, and we definitely have a need, if you will, for someone to sit in that seat, and we really appreciate it. And I tell you, to the viewing public, and tell your friends and whatever, please join the NAACP and support. And right in front with it. So we're going to do it this way. I'm going to stop. I'm going to give him the opportunity. He's got the mantle now. He's going to give you an update on the NAACP, the various committees, and how you can participate, what you can do, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So don't just be critical of this, that, and the other. Just go on and join, and work. We can get our community back. If you want a city of roses back again, guess what? Now's the time to do it. James, thanks very much.
Okay.
Go on, James.
Thank you, Bruce.
Oh, by the way, he has a cover too today. His NAACP cover. There it is, right there. Okay. And can you get one of those?
Oh yeah. Well,
is this mine that you gave me?
No,
is that mine?
That
They don't cost anything, really?
Yeah, they cost.
I paid already. Didn't I pay for mine?
This is not a program for the hustlers now. That comes next.
Oh, so
after that,
so good. I'll take this one because I won't hustle no more.
It don't have Vietnam on it right now. So maybe when we get one with Vietnam on it.
I got this one. I'm good.
No. It's too big for your head for one thing.
But that's what I'm saying. No problem. Go on, James. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, that's okay. I appreciate you allowing me to be on your program. And
well, it's our program. It's community's program.
Sure.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah, and of course, Yeah, that's kind of a good segue into what the NAACP is. It's your NAACP, not James Posey's NAACP.
Our NAACP.
Our
Okay, good.
Our
NAACP,
NAACP,
good,
because at the end of the day, Bruce, the NAACP has no silver bullet to solve all these problems, etc. And therefore, it's going to take all of us to come together to solve. We got some huge problems in our community, and I think I don't know how these things happen. Sometimes the stars get aligned. You get various people in various positions who come to those positions based upon what the challenges are. And I kind of view myself as being in that position right now, but I'm an old dude, so.
Well, you got background.
Well,
let's make sure that let's not be light about that situation. You've got a resume that talks to what Portland is all about.
So
you got background, very important to the layperson.
Yeah. So Bruce, you asked me for my perspective, right?
No,
I'm gonna give you. No, you want to tell me what? Okay, our perspective.
You're an employee.
Okay. Well, I'm a person that it's about community, and so most people, and so. There's a misnomer. People think that James Posey is going to be able to do something. That's a misunderstanding, because I came in to try to garner enough community support to use this platform to change some things. And I think we're on the path toward doing that. I've only been in office for 2 months. Be 3 months here. March is the 3rd month. And I think what's going to be different about my administration is that I'm going to reach out to the community and find out how am I doing as a leader of the organization. I'm not afraid of the criticisms and what people think one way or the other, but we have to measure what our progress is. That's one of the things I wailed against in previous administrations, is the inability to determine whether or not we're making any progress. I have these 3 M's, like that old insurance person that comes on TV that says, price, price. I have 3 M's.
You got 3 M's.
I got 3 M's.
Yeah, you're right.
My 3 M's is mission.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Membership.
Membership
Membership is the M.
Okay.
Mission.
Right.
Is the 2nd M. Right. And movement is the 3rd M.
And the 4th one is money to get in.
well, I could add that, but I want to stick with the 3.
All right.
The 3. We got membership.
You got to get your leadership.
Okay, then you have to understand the mission.
Yeah, that's right.
You really do have to understand the mission.
Right.
And then if you ain't moving, you ain't doing nothing.
That's right. What do you feel your mission is?
It's to organize.
You talked about some of it.
Yeah, it's to organize. When I came into office, very few of the committees, and make no mistake about it, just talk about a little bit about the structure of the NAACP.
Right.
Even though I'm the president, I get 1 vote.
Right.
Then you have the executive body, and they get 1 vote.
And what's the composition of that? About how many?
20.
Okay.
When you look at the national thing. And so I would advise anybody, it's no secret. You get online, NAACP.org, go to the bylaws. And Bruce, I really have this thing. I don't want to talk down to anybody, but if we don't know what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be doing it, how are we going to actually understand? I've got people out here chucking rocks at me now. They're not a member. They don't understand what the mission is. They have no context, but they want to throw rocks.
I understand the feeling.
You understand the feeling? You've been hit by a rock or two, huh?
So, but most of these people haven't gone through boot camp.
Well,
they don't understand the organizational structure.
Yeah, well,
we got lay people out there right now.
And
they're having issues and problems. And that's why I'm saying you are part of that solution.
Well, hopefully I will be instrumental in maybe turning a few things around.
Well, that's why you're here.
Yeah,
so we're educating the public, right?
Well, as I said before, what was my 3 M's, Bruce? Let's see how much I educate.
Money.
My instruction was not good.
What was the
I said membership.
What first thing? I went through this whole issue about the fact that I was a lifetime member, but they couldn't follow. You're not on the list. Listen, where's the money so you can get reinstated?
Let's reorient this. When you out there, I can talk military with you. All the generals up there talking stuff. but the boots on the ground was the one carrying out the mission. That's the ones who was catching bullets.
Mission, you're right.
So I'm telling you,
You're right.
I'm telling you, we got to get some boots on the ground.
Right.
Because all this, me wearing a suit here, looking all good, making all kind of stuff.
You hear that membership?
Yeah, I'm looking all good and everything, but really, we got to get out here and make some things happen.
But you're that point person.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to be.
You're not trying.
I'm gonna make it work.
No, you're not trying. No, you sitting in that seat now. Beforehand, when you first got on, you weren't in that seat.
Yeah, well,
but now you're in the seat.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's the seat which talks to everybody, right?
Yeah.
And you're that point person.
Let's just be clear.
Good.
There's a number of reasons why people do what they do. They get to be the chair of the NAACP because it's going to increase their resume, as you say. Or they use it as a leverage point to get to another position, or somehow it gives them a platform to espouse their personal views, et cetera, et cetera. I have to be wary and make sure I'm none of those. I have to make sure that you understand that I'm here for a reason, and it has nothing to do with James Posey's personal agenda. It's about a community agenda. If you understand what I'm saying, we get lost in the shuffle. I know you come from a different perspective, because you just expressed it. You just
Oregon Voters Digest.
Listen, you just expressed it a few minutes. It came out of your mouth, unrevoked. You said money, money, money. That's what you said. I'm saying you can't get into this position as the NAACP president about money. It can't be about what your personal.
All I was saying is that you got to be a member. And you got to have money. You got to have at least that first.
Yeah.
Dues, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to have dues. If you really look at the.
How much is it about?
Hold on. Let me explain this to you. Let me give you. Did you watch the Image Awards, the NAACP Image Awards?
Yes, I did.
You did.
I saw that.
Who was the major sponsor?
You were there.
Who was one of the major sponsors?
Major sponsors.
See. Told you, I'm not.
I was looking at all the.
You was looking at all them girls and all that other giddy ganny they had on the
girls. You talking about men and women.
Men and women, all that stuff. You was looking at all that flattery stuff. But if you were paying attention, you would have saw that Wells Fargo was one of the major contributors to the NAACP. And I don't know if you remember some time back where we had the big controversy about Wells Fargo doing some pretty rough things in the loan area for African Americans.
Are they members?
Of course they are. Okay. They trying to rebuild their brand based upon that.
Are they members here?
No, I don't know.
Why would you want to bring up their names? They're not a member. One thing I know about you, and this, you will not promote anything unless they are members.
Yeah,
they might be national members, but what about Portland?
Well, you ain't giving me. See, you're just like those people out here. You're not even giving me a chance. You're not even giving me a chance. I've only been. I just explained to you. I have to get my boots on the ground people because they don't respond to individual James Posey. But when I show them that you and Fred and Bob and everybody and his mother is a member of the NAACP, that's the power of membership.
You didn't mention the mayor.
Oh, well, he's probably a member too. I don't know.
That?
Who?
You know what I'm talking about?
The mayor.
What's
that got to do with
Paul Knowles?
Paul Knowles? Oh, yeah, he's a member.
Okay, good.
Now I want to show you, he's our ambassador. He's one of our ambassadors.
And he's former military, too.
Yeah, he is. But he's an ambassador to our program. It's quite a coup to get Paul to come in because he had some issues with previous administration and so forth. But I don't want to go back and talk about the past. I want to talk about the future.
Well, you got another member I thought that was very interesting, and in fact that makes a lot of sense because he's on the other side. He's kind of like part of your piece in a way. Vinay, what is it? The Ukrainian guy?
What you got to talk about him for? I mean,
well, he's a member.
Yeah, so.
Well, he is a member.
Yeah, there's a lot of other people.
I tried reaching him to basically have him come on because the city is being reorganized, and he was part and parcel of that. And I was trying to get him to come on and educate the public.
So, Bruce,
no one has done that yet.
Bruce, why are you trying to change the subject here? I'm not talking about that yet. Let's go back to that a little later on. But I want to talk about.
Don't forget. You want to put the hat on? Maybe
no,
you want to put your hat on?
I'm gonna put it on here in a few minutes. But I want to. If you want to talk about the NAACP now, that's just one segment of the thing.
Good.
We have a lot of things going. For example, as I mentioned to you before, the NAACP, the work of the NAACP is done through its committees.
Right.
And I'm proud to say that most of our chairs of those committees have been filled in 2 months. previous administration.
Right,
a
I was
long
saying
time.
about 20 people put
Yeah,
that.
there was 20 people, and
these are all
so I'm
members,
pretty-
right? They're all members.
Of course, that's the first criteria.
How many military people are part of that?
I have no idea, but I do have the chair of the Veterans Affairs, who's very active, NAV vet, and all of that, who's working very actively as a member.
Who is
of
the
them.
person?
His name is Flynn. His name is Sean Flynn. He's
Sean Flynn.
Flynn.
He's newly what?
I said he's a pretty good new member of the NAV vets, and of course, you know who NAV vets are. Are you a member of NAV vets? No, I don't want you to answer that. Anyway. Well, you collect a lot of hats. Unfortunately, you collect a lot of hats.
I just want to let you know.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I was interested in that veteran piece because Fred is a vet.
Yeah, and
Bob
I
Williams is a
understand.
vet.
I understand.
It's very important
and
to have
most of your
vet with
program is
background.
framework on a veteran's background. I appreciate that.
You are.
But at the end of the day, we do have, for the first time, then I can remember, we've got a Veterans Affairs chair of that committee, who's working with the legislature, who's working with city officials, etc., talking about the issues of veterans. So you can pat me on the back when
I'll pat you on the back when you have him sitting in his chair.
Well,
he's showing you his resume that he is a veteran.
Well,
does he know Fred? Does he know Bob? Does he know?
He's a member of NAV vets.
You what?
He's a member of NAV vets.
So
I don't know
who's the president of NAV vet?
What's the guy? Napoleon. I kind of know that. I mean, that's why I'm president.
He's a veteran Marine type.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's why I kind of know. I kind of do my homework, by the way.
But I don't know no Flynn. I don't know no Flynn.
Just in case, I do my homework.
I don't know no.
So anyway, where are we going with this conversation?
Well,
where
you're
do you want
supposed
to
to
go?
be giving a report to the
the
people.
I'm trying to give a report. I was just trying to tell you about our committee structures, and all our committees are basically filled.
How do you meet? How do people access you?
Well, we have a website.
Got a website.
PDX NAACP.org.
Okay.
And,
one more time on that one.
Yeah, it's
PDX
NAACP.org.
Okay, you got that.
And it's in construction, so people shouldn't get anxious if they don't see everything on there. But it has a calendar on there. It has a calendar of events. So if you're confused about when we meet, what committees are meeting, et cetera, et cetera.
And when you meet in different areas, you have your schedule. You'll have your schedule.
Yeah, we'll have the branch's schedule.
How about your schedule?
Embedded in that will be my schedule.
I mean, it's very important.
Yeah, my schedule will be in there too. And of course, what's going to really be good is that for the last 3 or 4 years, the office has been dead. We're going to open that office 3 days a week now.
And where's it located now?
It's at the Lloyd Center.
Okay.
It's kind of in that hollowed out Lloyd Center across the street from Sears, right next to where Marshall's used to be.
Okay.
And we're going to have some people in that office, receptionist type people.
So it's not there yet.
Well, it'll be there next week.
We
plan on having somebody in there, receptionist, having people to be there 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, from 11 to 5. People should be aware the Lloyd Center is closing at 7, so
So what date would that be? Have an idea? What date?
Well, I have to look on my calendar.
Next week. What the next week?
Yeah, it's next week.
Like what? Tuesday,
well, we're
Wednesday?
talking. I think the 7th, whatever next Monday is, next Wednesday, and next Friday. Well, I can pull my phone out.
We'll get Fred can pull that out.
Yeah, pull it out. So.
Okay, you got that in.
We're going to spend some time.
And you got Zoom too. You're going to have Zoom.
It's going to be a hybrid. Our meetings, our general meeting is on the last Sunday of the month.
Okay.
This is so people will know.
Okay.
From 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
And it's a hybrid. We'll have our office open during that period of time. And
what does that mean to the layperson?
What do you mean?
Hybrid. What do you mean?
Hybrid means both Zoom and in person.
Okay, good.
So that's what that means.
So the person can go to the office.
Right. So we'll have people can come in the office on that date.
And then
like
there's
again,
assembly area. There's an area that people can meet, right?
Of course.
Okay,
of
cool.
course. Yeah.
Good,
I'll
good.
be able to sit in there and go through, and then we'll have a Zoom, so people that
and they can even join there too at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We'll
so
have
they
applications.
They can come.
Yeah, they can come and join, and we'll have committee reports. Sometimes we have presentations about what's going on.
Okay.
And just so people will know. At our last general meeting, we had a presentation by Albert Lee, who's the chair of the Committee on Black Affairs, the Commission on Black Affairs, talking about the reparations bill that was presented before the legislature. You probably weren't even aware of it, but there was
very much so.
You were aware of that legislation?
Liz Taylor is kind of like the leading component right here locally.
Okay, well, whatever the case might be, I didn't know who that was.
And
but
Lou Frederick is very much
there
involved.
was
the senator.
So
Senator
anyway,
Frederick.
that bill was presented to our general body at that meeting, and so we'll have those sort of presentations. And then we'll talk about our organizational structure. As I mentioned to you early on, we had the Image Award that just occurred, in which Benjamin Crump, America's
he had quite a presentation.
He had quite a presentation, and
like,
so
like
if people miss that,
he was like a minister,
Yeah, well, and of course that's part of our agenda, is making sure that we're on the battlefield trying to, try to pushing those agendas.
But I noticed you got that cap on. I saw you in podcast there.
Podcast? What cap you talking about?
What was that?
Which one you talking about?
Well, you was on that hybrid peace aspect of it, but you were on a show that I just recently saw.
Yeah, well, I don't, unless
What was the gentleman?
I've been on several podcasts.
I know, but what was the one that we were talking about just off?
Are you talking about John Washington?
John Washington. Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah. It's he has a program. I think.
And John is a very active member too.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the Portland area.
Yeah, he very active member.
I thought it was a very good program.
I thought you would know about John Washington. It's called. He has the Soul District right down the street from here. As a matter of fact. Soul District, John Washington, and what he does, he runs a newspaper. What the heck is the name of that newspaper? Flossin Media. Flossin Media. I'm surprised you're not aware of Flossin Media, because it's been around for quite a while.
I'll reach out to him.
They do that annual run. That annual run they do, MLK run. Are you familiar with the annual MLK run? You're shaking your head, but obviously it doesn't ring a bell to you.
Like I said, this is Oregon Voters Digest.
Well, I understand, but okay. Anyway, so he's pretty prominent in.
I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, reach out to him, because he's got.
You give me his phone number.
Okay, I'll certainly share that with you.
So he's on. You said he's on once a week.
I don't know that he's on once a week. They invited me for his podcast, and I went on. There's been several people in the community that's been on his podcast program.
So you was on. Okay.
Yeah, I was on.
I'll reach out to him, get him on here.
Yeah, you should get him in. We'll promote the show and so forth.
No problem.
So I think, like I said, I've been the president for 2 months, and it's we've had some internal issues I've had to straighten out, and I've been down pretty well got that all nixed out, and I can kind of focus on really trying to get the organization, get its wheels under them, put some gasoline in the tank, and rev up the motor, and this analogy, that
the reason why I brought up the Radine aspect of it is that it just shows that the NAACP now is opening to anyone that wants to join. And if you got any views, you can share that even at your meetings and whatever.
Oh yeah.
So my point is, but you got to be a member, if you will, to respond. You got to be a member. I thought that was interesting, because he's very. I thought that was good, because you got him as a member, because he's very much involved in Portland. In fact, the guy's going to probably run for office. He's going to run for commissioner, and I think that's a good deal, because now he can share if you will, some of the issues that are relevant, if you will, in all due respect to black people.
Well, you gotta understand about Portland. We've always had this divide and conquer mentality, and people are not tolerant of other people's view. A lot of people don't like what JamesPosey have to say, and vice versa. But at the end of the day, we've all we got. We've got to at some point come together.
Well, there's the issues.
And of course, my deal is try to bring people together. Anybody can throw rocks and tear anything down, but it takes a special kind of person to build stuff.
But throw rocks to the issues.
I'm not.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about the individual. My point is just about the issues. And we need solutions.
Some people can't separate those two. Well,
that's
you
why
maybe
you're at the
can.
table. That's why you're at the table.
No, I ain't why I'm at the table. Why I'm at the table because I work hard. That's why I'm at the table.
You're at the table because you represent issues. Or you wouldn't be sitting here.
No,
I wouldn't have you sitting here.
No, really, I work.
I had your predecessor here for once.
Well, I don't. I'm here because I'm an open book. people
That's
people
good.
want me to
That's good.
say something. I'm gonna say something. You want me to say something? If some other program invites me, I like I say, I'm not scared, as they say, to be able to talk about what I do.
But I like the idea of being the president of the NAACP, and you're saying if I show up, you got to be a member. You have to at least be a member. So you pull out that membership deal, and I think that's a good idea.
Well,
it's a good idea.
You got to put your money where your mouth is, Bruce.
But I said the three M's.
You money. Again, the NAACP is just one organization within this community that could make a difference, and I'm honored to be in a position where I can help guide some of that, and I can, I think I have a global view of what's happening in our community, and
well, you ran for mayor at one point in time,
I did.
years back, but that was good. It was good you did.
I ran for mayor, and
not an easy task.
No, it was not an easy task, and one of the things that, of course, the reason why I ran is that black people need to control their own destiny. We can't defer to white people about where we're going, where we're going to be, and so that's the reason why I ran, and that's another reason why I'm doing the NAACP peace thing, because I understand the history. A lot of people want to say that the NAACP is not relevant. It's not.
It's been around.
It's been around for a while. Okay, I would tell people, if you can name me another organization that has its national clout, its national perception about being, I'd like to see where it is, because I ain't seen any. Even old Reverend Sharpton and that, what's that name of that organization he runs? Action Network, whatever.
You don't get in that lane.
No, I'm just saying.
Leave that lane alone.
I'm not bothering that lane.
You are not Al Sharpton.
No, I know. I didn't. Lord knows. Thank God. I'm not. I ain't trying to be Al Sharpton.
You don't do that. No, you're president of the NAACP.
I'm trying to acknowledge. I'm trying to acknowledge that I am JamesPosey. I'm just a local fish.
No, you're not. No, you're the pointed fish.
So
you're a big catfish.
No.
We got that catfish.
You keep trying to push that on me, but I'm just one.
You're the leadership.
I'm just one guy. I'm just saying. We're talking about the NAACP now, and everybody thinking it's outused its usefulness, it's bygones. It's only as good as the people who make it up. That's what I'm saying. And if people want to see this vehicle, a platform that's been around for I don't know how long, since 1909, it still is. And guess this, check this out. This branch that I'm now the president of is the oldest branch west of the Mississippi.
Okay.
Let me say that one more time. This particular branch, which I'm currently the president, is the oldest branch west of the Mississippi. Now, that doesn't mean just because you're old, you're about something and you've done something. So my challenge is, now that we established it's the oldest, now we need to make it the best.
Okay.
Let me just say that again.
Well, it is the best.
Well, we're on that path. We're on that path. We're on that path towards being the best. It's one of those things where we've had our ups and downs, but I think we're on an upswing now. Obviously, because I'm trying to be in the chair, trying to make things happen. So I don't really have any great expounding things, except that we're trying to get ourselves operationalized. We're trying to be a value proposition for the community.
Okay.
When people sign up, they should know that we're going to be out there fighting for inclusion of black people. We're going to fight against racism, that wherever it raises its ugly head. You know that they had that issue with this kid over in West Sullivan, in which two white kids threw a black kid down and jumped on him, trying to emulate the George Floyd thing. So we're working through our committee chairs to address that in the school system.
Okay.
And some of those things.
Is that Portland Public Schools?
Yeah. You missed that.
I didn't. I just asked you the question.
You got to turn off. You got to just you have to turn off Price is Right and what's his name? What that dude you be watching on
3M?
Whatever it is. But you got to turn that off and catch up on the news. Go ask Ken Body what happened, because it was pretty prominent.
You brought up a good piece again. They say, Ken, in all due respect, I've called them several times for you to interview you. the rationales, because he has a base, if you will, that they've given him as far as media is concerned. And I think it'd be good. It'd be good to have him interview you for an hour on the show.
Yeah. Well, again, let me just be real honest and real clear about it. I've been in office for 2 years. I barely know where the office is myself. I'm trying to figure out what is he going to interview me about. You're interviewing me now, and we haven't done that much. But we're trying to get our wheels on. We're trying to get structured. Let us breathe a little bit. Let us get out there and walk the streets a little bit. I mean, you're trying.
You're in the seat now.
I'm in the seat. I'm in the seat.
You're doing well.
We're doing what we need to do.
Okay, let's talk about some of the other issues that you talked about. The education system, which I thought was good. Got me. And I thought that was good. Now, what about the other issues like housing and things of that nature? Because that's huge in this area. Housing is it, and then the whole issue with homelessness. That's huge. And then, in all due respect, we've always been tagged, i.e., as gang members, as far as blacks are concerned. What are you doing about that particular issue?
Well,
you got
we got some things.
Do you have a committee that responds to the shootings and things of that nature?
Yeah, we have a committee. We just recruited a young lady.
The shooting?
Bruce, you would do like my daughters tell me, Dad, you got to shut up if you want to hear what people were saying.
I didn't know
I mean, my daughters told me, Dad, my daughters told me, Dad, you talk too much because you can't hear nothing because your mouth.
Every time I look at TV, it's always a black male with a gun.
Well, you want to, if you're interviewing me, then you want me to explain, then I'll explain. Otherwise, I'll listen to you talk. But at the end of the day,
all right, that's enough.
Okay. Well, I'll explain if you want me to explain.
Right, okay.
Well, and of course, we have these committees. I just explained to you that a lady, the previous administration went 2 years without a political action chair.
Political action chair.
And these are the people that actually bring forth those issues in the community centered around political action. And the things that you're speaking to I think falls in that realm. And so
for guns,
identifying
black males,
identifying all those things. We, we're 2 committees that are not fulfilled yet.
Okay.
And that's the prison committee and the criminal justice committee. Those 2 positions out of all our committees are not filled yet. So those are, and of course, there's a reason for that because they're the hardest. Those are the most difficult. Committees to fill. In fact,
I got a good point. I'll tell you right up front. When the guy's very, very active and he's doing a lot of things, if you will. He's an ex-offender, but my point is he's clean. He has his own church, and he does a whole bunch. Meriwether, you know Meriwether?
Well, I've heard the name, but you can share that with me after. I mean, you can refer to me.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
That's
he's been
great.
Good. He's been good. He's good.
But you asked me a question. I'm trying to tell you what we're trying to do.
Okay, good.
Okay,
no
so you probably won't believe this, but down at our office, people are sending us mail every day from the prisons. It's interesting that people are sending mails trying to seek help, trying to review their case. The other committee, that's the third one that I didn't mention, that is unfulfilled yet, and that is the Legal Redress Committee. If you want to look at that, and we actually are referring those complaints and things out to a young lady by the name of Michelle Love, who used to be the chair of that committee, but chose not to come back. She was part of the previous administration. We do have a conduit to,
that's a good point
to move.
Reach out.
Yeah, move.
Well, Uhuru, by the way, since that came up to mind. You know Uhuru? Does that ring a bell?
Who?
Uhuru.
No, that doesn't.
It's an organization at the institution.
Oh yeah. So I have connections. Bob Hamilton.
Bob.
Bob Hamilton, who goes up there. Shabazz, who also has he's the imam, the local imam who goes there. So I do have some relationship with those people who are trying to make a difference in the prison. But it's coming.
That's an issue. That's why I would ask you the question, because that is a major issue. Well, no one's basically giving it any kind of talking to that issue because
it
talks about black males, right?
Listen, I was just talking to a young lady before I came here, the Coalition of Black Men. Everybody wants to do everything all at once, and it ain't gonna happen that way. It's not gonna happen that way. We're gonna have to prioritize. We're gonna have to look at where our resources are, and we're going to have to make sure we can do what we say we can do and not give people false expectations about what we're trying to do. And so, you know, I'm looking at myself about what we can do, and of course anybody out there who wants to, you know, contribute. Let me just reiterate this: ain't nobody getting paid. I'm gonna say that again. Nobody's getting paid within the NAACP to do all this humongous work that we're talking about. It's based upon volunteerism, and if anybody worked with a nonprofit understands, even when they're getting paid, it's difficult to execute.
So you're saying that no expenses and nothing like that, like the lunches, anything?
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I said no one's getting paid for their salary wise. Yeah,
okay.
If there's some, you know, reimbursement for stuff that they're doing. But at the end of the day, all this work that's being done is based upon people's willingness to come and serve their community. And so you have to understand that.
Well, other organizations around the country, there are organizations that are salaried as far as president.
Well, not president, but executive director.
Okay, executive.
And we'll be looking to do that. But, you know, we'll be looking at some point to do that. Who would be a paid person, because this work is huge. And I'm an old dude. You know, people don't know it. I'm old, so I'm really trying to. One of my platforms is to stand up an executive director for this body.
Good.
So we can
Good
have.
to know.
I'll be looking for building a fundraising campaign to be able to hire somebody as an executive director of this organization. We deserve that. If these issues are serious and they need to be addressed, we need to have somebody working on them 24/7.
That's part of your platform.
As part of my platform is to get an executive director.
Good idea.
Previous administration, they stabbed at it. They didn't get it done. I plan on getting it done. In fact, people like you that are financially well off, I want to hit them first and ask them to donate a big chunk of their money, so we can get an executive director. So that's where this membership, this is where people who don't want to get out there and mix it up, they can just open their wallets and shove out some money so we can get somebody to do this big, important work. So that's a huge part of my platform.
Okay. So like I said, I'm coming right back to that gang situation, because boy, that's really on the top of the list as far as I'm concerned. So young black males, especially.
So Bruce, I've interviewed with you before, and I know you're kind of getting up there in age, but I just want to talk to you about this paradigm I shared with you. One interview before, when I talked about the fence at the top of the cliff.
The what?
The fence at the top of the fence versus the ambulance at the bottom of the fence.
Okay.
I mean, of the cliff.
Okay.
Do you remember that interview I talked to you about?
I shared with you.
Yeah, I said.
What was your point?
My point is that we have to do more to prevent these things rather than trying to clean it up after they already occur. Prevention is a big deal. And when we started talking about gangs and so forth,
and guns,
So you heard the analogy.
Do it again.
No, I am not. You know, I can't. You know, I mean, I've shared that with you, and I'm just saying that, you know, the old phenomenon. There's nothing more powerful stopping a bullet but a job.
Oh, okay.
You heard that before, right?
Yeah.
So jobs stop bullets.
Yeah.
Economic capacity stop bullets. That's the fence at the top of the cliff versus waiting till after all this has happened and then we try to pick up the pieces at the bottom of the cliff. I said that to you before. That's my philosophy, to try to work at the top rather than going around trying to pick up the bodies at the bottom of the cliff. It's what I said. You go back and read that last interview when I was in.
I'm very familiar with that.
You're very familiar.
It's called boot camp.
You know, you
do relate to that.
Yeah, you always. Hold up just a minute here, because you know I think I want to just merge those thoughts. I want to merge those thoughts. You know, I'm a prior military, right? I come out of the hood just like a lot of other black kids.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Fighting. Everything dysfunctional that can happen to a black kid, I was a part of that.
Right.
I went in the military. I learned discipline, control, order, respect, and appreciation for authority. I learned those things in the military. I could run them through you again, but they
gave you a job.
Subsequent to that, it made me profitable and compatible in the job market. Because when I go on the job, people know one thing about me. I'm disciplined. I'm going to be productive. I'm going to pay attention to instructions. I'm going to follow what to get an outcome and a product. Those qualities I got primarily from the military. Even though my grandfather tried to whip them into me, he wasn't very successful. He could cuss like a sailor, but the military allowed me to put some systems, understand systems, understand there's an order to things. I mean, you might think that's minute. It allowed me to figure out what I'm best good at. It gave me some personal insight into who I was, and it allowed me to show leadership. I've always been a squad leader or somebody that actually commanded troops under my authority, and so I know I'm capable of doing that. Now, how do you?
Are you going to share that now with
I'm just
young
saying,
people?
Of course, but these things don't come by accident. It's an evolution. You get to learn these things. You get to get yourself in a position where you can demonstrate, regardless of what comes out of James Posey's mouth. It's what they actually see on the ground that makes a difference. I'm going to just say that again. Regardless of what I profess to do, what people are really looking at is my actions as an individual and how I operate within this community. And the key to this is, you can talk about resume, what I put on paper, but if you go around this community, you can look at some of the things I've helped build, some of the things I've supported in terms of rectifying some of the damage that has occurred in our community. They can look at my business. I've been an entrepreneur in this community.
And you got all that. You got that out of the military, right?
Well, there was a foundation built.
You're talking about your analogy about the fence.
Right, absolutely.
Then as you graduated out of that piece, guess what? You got a job.
Well, I mean,
all those jobs you were mentioning.
I'm just trying. If you want to tell my story, you want me to tell my story.
Well, because you got to make sure we communicate it to the folks that are out here. And
I'm trying to communicate it, but you ain't letting me. You ain't letting me.
It's not about self.
I'm gonna let you tell my story. Go ahead and tell my story.
I'm gonna tell you. Your story is that you were in boot camp, and that analogy. No, the analogy was good. The draft was good because I went through that same process.
Well, Bruce, are you interviewing me or am I interviewing you?
No, I'm interviewing you.
Okay, well then I'm gonna tell my story the way I want to tell it, and the reality is that the military is only one I went to college, by the way. Some of those discipline and control things you get in college, it's not just you just go to college, sit up there and let somebody talk to you, but you learn how to write, you learn how to put a resume together, you learn how to do your research. The military didn't teach me that, by the way. My college experience going through public schools and matriculating to my degrees and so forth, you go through a process in which you learn stuff that makes you your total person.
Did you use the GI Bill when you did that?
Of course I did.
Oh, really?
I would have never got through. Yeah.
And where did you get that from?
Of course I got the GI Bill.
From the military.
Most black people would never get through college unless they got the GI Bill. Of course, white people did too. My competitors in this market, they got more of the GI Bill than I did. Okay. So, it leveled the playing field for black kids. As a kid, I didn't have no. Listen, let me just explain this to you. I had no college loan because of the GI Bill. I didn't have to pay no money back. My kids didn't have any because I made enough money to help pay their college tuition.
So what are you saying?
So I'm saying that based upon me getting the GI Bill, it put me in a position to earn enough resources to help my kids get through college. So it's not just that one step that benefited me, but you have to be in a position to understand you have to pay it forward, not only to your own immediate family, but to the broader community. So, Bruce, I get the Vietnam hat, I get the military, but it just depends upon how you actually take those resources and make our community better.
What do you think about, you jumped in another arena real quick, which I'd like to get your response to that piece. President Biden just basically said, let's forget about all these loans now, and said that for certain areas, he's just going to forgive those loans for those folks who basically gone to college, borrowed the money. And what do you think about that? You're familiar with that, right?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it, and I don't think there could be a better solution for trying to make black people whole.
No, everybody.
I'm not worried about everybody. I'm worried about black people
Okay.
in particular.
Okay.
Let me just be real clear,
Okay.
because
All right. Okay, keep
we had an uneven playing field, which put us behind.
That's-
So I'm talking about, even if we were to do it for everybody, this still will give everybody along with us an unfair advantage over us.
Okay.
So I'm talking about black people in particular,
All right.
who in this particular state couldn't even stay in the state,
Right.
who basically didn't get 40 acres and a mule. They were behind in any economic capacity to be productive in this community. We got gentrified, the houses taken away from them. We got red line, we got all of that.
Okay. So how do you feel about this?
I feel
for,
like,
for black folks.
yeah, I feel like they ought to be, like yesterday, their student loans ought to be forgiven.
For black
For
folks.
black folk. For black people in particular, because of the fact that they're the least one who can afford going to college.
Oh, okay.
That's why that's why the disparity between black people and white people is so huge, is because we're the ones who can't really afford to send our kids to college and so forth.
Okay, so now there's another little quickie point. Now they've done away with the draft, okay? And as you said, with the draft, that was as a result of the draft aspect of it.
I volunteered, by the way.
I volunteered too, but my point is that, but the draft was there during our time.
Yeah.
Right.
What
okay.
about it?
I mean, and all I'm saying is that they've done away with the draft. The draft was good. I mean, it really was a benefit to black folks, right?
No, I don't think the draft. You're gonna try to put words in my mouth. So, I volunteered. It was pretty. Even though I volunteered, it was involuntary, because at the end of the day, that was the only path for black kids out of the ghetto, out of the hood. And so it was. Even though I volunteered, I'll give you an example. Back in 1964. They would not even let black people in the union. I graduated out of my high school, top of my honors in apprentice, but they wouldn't even let black people into the apprentice union. And, it was blue collar work. So we were excluded back then. Mm-hmm. So the military was the best option for me in terms, if I wanted to continue my education, I had to go in the military.
Right.
And listen, not to mention all the stupid stuff I did as a teenager, run around in cars with no license and doing all that crazy stuff all these young people still do today. My record probably, on the streets would not allow me to do certain things, but at the end of the day, the military was the best option for me.
But it communicates to the young people that are looking at the show too.
Well,
that's part of your resume.
all 5 of your young people looking at your show today will probably get something out of what you're saying. Well, I'm saying, too, as a whole, this is who James Posey is. And if you really want to get young people to listen to your show, you got to.
I'm talking about listening to you.
Oh no, well
you're the
you
NAACP
just
president. Can you?
Yeah.
How many young people do you have in the organization?
Well, I could show you this picture. We just last night we opened the Lord Senate office for a group of young people that came in here yesterday. I have a young adult person who brought these kids in. It was just gratifying to see them in the office last night, as a matter of fact, and they were there talking and laughing, and I couldn't wait to get rid of them, because they're all laughing and shucking it up and everything. Maybe a little nervous.
What percentage of the organization right now that you know of that's young people?
I don't know.
I
don't know. My secretary is working on that. We do. And I'm very excited about a young lady who just signed up to be our AXO, AXO is the name of a program committee.
Oh, committee.
Committee.
So you got young people that will be part of the
committee.
Yeah,
I got a young lady that just came in from out of New Jersey. I'm very excited about this young lady. She's a 30-year-old PhD, which is very exciting. She went through the AXO program. She traveled.
What about the younger people than that?
Well, she's going to bring those people in. I'm just saying. Can you listen to what I'm trying to say? Can you let me finish what I'm trying? No, thank you. So if you let me listen. People. Well, if you let me say something.
Listen, you're right.
Yeah, if you let me talk, I'll explain to you.
Okay.
She went through the actual program as a young person, as a teenager, et cetera. So she knows the ropes. She knows how beneficial it was for her. And so she out of New Jersey. These AXO programs been around for years.
Okay.
Have been very successful. A national program in bringing kids. They do oratorical concepts, contests. They work on science. She was very disappointed. Her particular program did not have a science program. She's very interested in environmental science, and And this young person understands the need to expose younger people in high school and below, middle school, and so training. So this young person has insight into how effective the actual program really is. Therefore, she's very excited about paying it forward, using her experience and how it helped her develop who she is as a person. And she's willing to help recruit really younger people over at whether it be in middle school or wherever, to bring them into a program which has already been well received nationally using the NAACP as a platform. So this young person is a young person who is helping a younger person. Really, and truth be told, this particular branch has never really had an active AXO program. And let me just say what that is. ACT-SO. AXO. Look it up. It's on our website. It's a well-defined program that's been very successful. In fact, my daughter, Shania, did competition in the AXO program when she was younger, and so I can testify of a person who really was involved.
So all those committees are on the website?
For the most part, they are. Like I say, we were recruiting and so forth.
Photo maybe of
the names, photo. For the most part, we still, we're under construction.
Sure.
So, I think 2 months in, we're setting the framework for a very successful NAACP to make it the best west of the Mississippi. And and I want your viewers to know they can sign up at PDX. NAACP.org. Better yet, if they
one more time.
Actually, I want to direct them to the national office, which is NAACP.org. Go to the link that says join.
It
will walk you through it, and it gives you sometimes some of the information it may not apply to you, so you walk through the links. And when you get down to the part where it says your credit card, you done good, because they'll accept your credit card, and then once you put your credit card in, it will tell you that you've successfully completed the application process, and then within an hour or two, or maybe a day or so, you will get a confirmation that you have become a member. And once you do that, then our secretary, who has access to the national roster, will be able to confirm your membership and then can report back to you. Then you should start receiving emails and text messages and all that other stuff that they send to you to confirm your membership in the NAACP.
Let me say that. Now, what about those individuals that are not into high tech? Maybe senior citizens or people who can't afford it, if you will, they don't have the computers, they don't have the internet. Can they call up the NAACP and their phone number that they can call?
I just explained to you, I don't know if you were listening, but I said we're going to be open 3 days a week. 3 days from 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They can walk into the office, fill out an application, give us your check, and we will forward it to the national office.
But what about a phone right now? Do you have a phone number that they can call? Because I don't want to use your number anymore.
No, it's on the website. I'm not going.
No website, but do you have a number just a phone number that?
No, I don't have it in front of me right now. I can pull it up.
Okay.
But if you go to our website, or you go somewhere that I think on my last interview I had my own personal thing. But at the end of the day, it's going to take some effort on the part of people to sign up. But it ain't that hard. We do what we want to do. If we're really interested in being a part of it.
Still, you're trying to get everybody to.
Yeah, I'm trying to get as many people as I am, and so you'll see as we go forward. I'm gonna do like your buddy Donald Trump says. We'll get tired of winning. You'll get tired. We'll get tired of seeing me. You'll get tired of seeing JamesPosey. You'll get tired of listening to him harp on about how great the NAACP is. And so there's gonna be plenty of opportunities for people to see my mug, as it were, because I plan on promoting.
For your seat.
Yeah, for my seat, and I want people to really weigh in and say, well, what is this dude doing? Is he an asset, or he's just another fumbling, bumbling predecessor.
Well,
What's
it's the
going on.
benefits. You said it's the benefits, and you're sharing these benefits that as a result of the NAACP, and you're sitting in that chair and you're communicating and sharing it.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is
So
very important.
yeah, we plan on being a force. When something shows up on the agenda about how mistreated black folk are, that we should be in a position to gain this or gain that, or what do we think about this piece of legislation and so on. So we'll be trying to articulate
Welcome.
a position that I think our community will be proud of.
And like I said, the divide thing, we're trying to get things back together again, black and white aspect.
Yeah,
main
yeah.
issues. So it's not just all white folks that are quote problems, right?
Well, I was just talking to somebody today. There's only about 95,000 black folk in the state of Oregon. 95,000 black folk in the state of Oregon. We have a very small population of black folk
Right.
in
compared.
Oregon. So we better have some allies if we want to help move legislation, help make sure that Black Lives Matters really matters. We better have some white allies working with us to get this done.
What about Teresa Rayford? She's still the president of Black Lives Matter?
I don't know. That's your job.
Yeah,
Keep
but
up with-
you
let's
mentioned,
get-
you said everybody.
No, she said, she is
not
not Black Lives Matter. I think her name of her organization is Don't Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course that's
Well, why not? But why not?
I mean,
Can
she's
she
certainly
join if
welcome.
wants?
Of course she
Okay,
can.
Good.
All the people that I'm not trying to exclude anybody
Good.
from our organization.
Right.
Everybody that wants to put their shoulder to the wheel are welcome to be part of the NAACP.
Okay.
The challenge. There's enough room out here for all of us to flex our muscles and put their shoulders to the wheel and change the direction in which we're going. So
Okay.
so I'm not going to exclude anybody. I'm
Well,
about
we hear-
building.
In
as
fact, on
opposed-
that other end of it, you hear this thing all the time, and I guess the other side gets that same mindset aspect of it about the whole issue with what do you call it? Gee whiz. Well, you get it out of my mind. The white side. What do they call it?
Well, I don't
No,
understand.
no,
what you're-
as far as the terms that's being always used about the white supremacists.
What about them?
Can they join?
I think they can. It's probably probably some already in there, but we're trying to weed them out.
No,
'cause
but I'm just
they
saying,
have a
you're
different
talking about the
agenda.
issue, man. What
Yeah,
the
no,
heck?
I'm not trying to
Right,
promote
right.
anybody.
'Cause that's an
listen,
issue.
Well, listen, hold up just a
Good,
second.
we got about a half a minute.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this another
That
time.
runs counter to our mission is for
Okay.
white supremacists to be
Okay.
in there. So
Okay.
they're in the wrong organization if they want to promote
Okay.
white
Okay,
supremacy.
good.
But we're trying to dismantle white supremacy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so that would run counter to us. They
Okay.
would just be impediment to where we're trying to go. We're trying to collect people who want to get rid of white supremacy, racism, discrimination, all that. So
Tell you what, when we do this,
What?
let's talk about that issue another time when you come back and do another report aspect of it.
Yeah.
You got about another 15 seconds
well,
or so.
the next
Look,
time,
wanna thank
I want
thank
you to
very
interview
much.
me instead of you interviewing
all right,
me.
all right,
interview
fine.
you.
Sounds good. We'll do that too. Fine. But anyway, James, thank you very much. We appreciate it, really.
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it very much. You're doing a good job. Hang in there. And hey, seriously, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, well,
Keep doing it.
2 months, man.
Sounds good.
2 months.
Tell
You
the
might
family I
think
said,
differently.
tell your commanding officer I said hi.
Okay, I will.
Okay, good. Okay, folks, I guess we got to that particular point. We're just going to close up at this point in time. But this has been great. James got his cover on now. He's got really. This guy is he's a very busy guy, and we want to thank him very much because I called him late last night.
Yeah, well,
and then I called him again this morning, and he was on another podcast, another Zoom, and now he's got to go back to another Zoom aspect of it.
I sent you that podcast 2 weeks ago, and you just now waking up.
That's right. I got a bunch of them on myself. What are you talking about? I've been doing this stuff for years. What you talking about? Okay. But I think we're at this point now. But anyway, James, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right,
good,
man.
good.
Thank you.
All right, then. Yeah, go down that way. Go that way. Okay. All right. Well, folks, we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.